Have you ever noticed how some of the strongest people you know are also the quietest? They're not broadcasting every thought. They're not explaining every decision. And there's a reason for that. Silence protects truth. It protects intention. Because the moment you speak something out loud, it changes. Not always because you're lying, but because not everyone deserves access to the deepest parts of you. See, we live in a world where people smile at you while quietly measuring your weaknesses, where someone can nod along with your dreams, only to turn them into targets later. Think about it. How many times have you shared something you were excited about? A business idea, a personal goal, even a moment of pain, and instead of support, you felt judged, doubted, maybe even used. The truth is, when you speak too soon, you give people ammunition, not because they're evil, but because they don't understand the weight of your words. Your silence isn't emptiness. It's protection. It's the shield between who you're becoming and the noise that could derail you. So before you share your next thought, ask yourself, is this something I need to express or something I need to guard? Because sometimes strength isn't in being loud. It's in being still, focused, unshaken. Let's talk about something most people overlook. Not everyone deserves access to your inner world. We live in a culture that rewards oversharing, where people post their fears, goals, even traumas, hoping someone will understand. But here's the truth no one tells you. Vulnerability without discipline becomes self-sabotage. Sharing isn't wrong, but when, how, and with whom you share, that changes everything. Imagine you're building a fortress, your mindset, your goals, your emotional strength. Would you hand out the blueprints before it's finished? Of course not. Because the wrong person doesn't just misunderstand it, they might use it against you. You're not hiding, you're protecting. You're choosing intentional silence over reckless exposure. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The things you think about determine the quality of your mind. But what about the things you speak aloud?" Every word you release becomes part of the world. If spoken carelessly, it can dilute the very truths that give your life meaning. That's what Stoicism teaches us. The deepest parts of you are sacred, not because they're fragile, but because they're powerful. And power, when unguarded, becomes a target. So no, silence isn't weakness. It's wisdom, it's clarity. It's knowing that some things are meant to be felt, not explained. There's a quiet strength in keeping certain things to yourself, not out of fear, but out of wisdom. The first, your deepest pain. Yes, healing requires expression, but don't confuse that with exposure. Some wounds are sacred. They shaped you, broke you open, rebuilt you stronger. Not everyone deserves a front row seat to your rebirth. Some will listen only to use it against you later. As Epictetus said, don't explain your philosophy, embody it. So let your actions show what you've survived. Let your silence speak volumes. Second, your goals. This world is full of what I call energy thieves. People who nod while secretly hoping you'll fail. When you share your dreams too early, you invite their doubts, fears, and projections. Seneca warned, "A wise man is never too quick to speak, nor too slow to act." Your dreams are seeds. Plant them in silence. Water them with discipline. Speak only when the roots are strong enough to weather the storm. Third, your income. Money reveals people. It doesn't change them. It uncovers them. Share too much, and you become either a target or a benchmark. You stop being a person and start being a number. Let them think you're average. Let them underestimate you. There's power in being underestimated. True wealth is quiet, humble, and private. Fourth, your kindness. We live in a world obsessed with being seen, but real virtue doesn't need applause. Marcus Aurelius said it best. When you do good to others, don't remind them of it. Give silently. Help without needing credit. That's real humility, the kind that still stands when the spotlight fades. And finally, your next move. This isn't about hiding. It's about protecting the sacred space where momentum lives. Speak too soon, and you trigger two dangers: external noise and internal pressure. When people can't predict you, they can't prepare for you. And that unpredictability with purpose is your power. So no, not everything needs to be said. Some things are stronger in silence, because in a world obsessed with noise, your quiet restraint is your loudest statement. And maybe the reason this hits home for so many of us is because we've all felt the sting of overexposure. We've all trusted too soon, spoken too quickly, posted something raw, only to regret it later when silence would have been stronger. But here's the good news. Silence is a skill, a practice. And like any discipline, it gets sharper the more you honor it. This isn't about becoming cold or distant. It's about being deliberate with your energy, about knowing the difference between what needs to be seen and what simply needs to be lived. Because not everything sacred needs to be explained. Your growth, it's happening whether anyone claps or not. Your purpose, it doesn't need validation to exist. Your healing, it's yours. Quietly, deeply, truly yours. And the most powerful people I've ever met weren't the loudest. They were the ones who moved with intention, who didn't announce every step, but made every step count. So if you're walking a quiet path right now, keep going. You're not lost. You're just not performing. And that might be the strongest place to be. Because in a world that wants you loud, reactive, and constantly seen, choosing silence isn't just wise, it's radical. And maybe that's what real power looks like today. Doing the work quietly, living with purpose, and letting the results do the talking. So if you're in a season where you're quiet, where you're building in silence, healing in private, growing without witnesses, trust that you're not behind. You're just protecting what matters. Silence doesn't mean you're doing nothing. It means you're doing the real work, the kind that doesn't beg for attention, but builds something unshakable. And when the time comes, your presence will speak louder than any announcement ever could. So be patient with your process. Protect your peace like it's sacred, because it is. And remember, the most powerful stories weren't told too soon. They were lived fully, then shared with wisdom. Let your stillness be your strength. Let your results be your voice. And until then, move in silence with purpose. Some people think stoicism means being cold, detached, or unemotional. But the truth is, stoicism is not about isolation. It's about intention. It's not that you never open up. It's that you choose when, how, and to whom you open up. We live in a world that encourages us to overshare every thought, every feeling, every move. But not everything sacred belongs on display. Your silence isn't emptiness, it's protection. You're not being distant, you're being disciplined. You're building something important inside. Peace of mind, clarity of purpose, freedom from unnecessary noise. And to protect those things, you have to be selective. Ask yourself, does this person truly deserve access to my truth? Is what I'm about to share going to strengthen me or drain me? Real freedom isn't being loud. It's walking through life with a calm mind, a private plan, and an unshakable peace. So here's the final wisdom, simple but powerful. Keep your pain sacred. Keep your goals private. Keep your money quiet. Keep your kindness anonymous. And keep your next move in the shadows. Speak less, move more. Think deeply, and walk in silence, like someone who already knows how the story ends. So the next time you're tempted to overshare, pause. Ask yourself, is this coming from strength or from a need to be seen? Protect what's sacred. Guard what's still growing. And if this message spoke to you, share it with someone who needs the reminder. Because in a world obsessed with noise, your silence might be the loudest thing they hear. Subscribe for more insights like this, where wisdom meets real life, one quiet truth at a time.